In this video, we will factor a quadratic, but we will focus on when a quadratic has a leading coefficient that is not equal to 1. So recall that a quadratic is an expression of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0 and b and c are real numbers. Okay, b and c can be 0, but a cannot be 0. In our case, in this video, we are going to focus on the case when a is not equal to 1. There's another video that I'm presenting when a does equal 1, so check that out if you want to know about that. So for when a does not equal 1, the goal here is to find all factors of c and a. Then we need to find the correct combination that will add to b. Some people might refer to this as somewhat of the guess and check model. So you're guessing, and throughout the process you'll find by checking if you are correct in your guess, and then you might have to revise your guess. As you become more efficient with your guesses, you might realize that some are unrealistic or not worth looking into, and some are very good guesses. So you might be able to narrow down your guesses so that you're not trying literally all the factors and all the combinations. There is a strategy for doing this that is not guess and check, and that is the video called factor by grouping. So if you don't like this method, check out that video, factor by grouping. So first we want to find all the factors of my a. The factors of my a happen to be 4 times 2, 8 times 1, and that's it. Now I'm not going to focus on negatives. With my a, I typically leave my a always to be positive. So 4 times 2, 8 times 1. I'm not going to look at negative 8 times negative 1. The c, however, I do need to consider this negative. So factors of 3 are going to be 3 times 1, and one of those has to be negative, so I'll make it a negative 3. And I also have positive 3 times negative 1. From here, it's literally now just a guess. So what I'm going to do is pick two of the factors. So I am going to go ahead and label this side in red, and I'm going to label this other side in green so that we can see the two sides and how I'm working with them. So I've got a 4, and I need to now multiply that by one of the factors over here on the green side. So I'm going to choose just randomly, I'm going to choose negative 3. Okay, now we're going to add. Now I need to choose the corresponding other part to the red. So since I chose 4, I must choose 2 times, and since I chose negative 3, I must choose positive 1. All right, well, when I do this, I get negative 12 plus positive 2, which results in a negative 10. Hey, I feel like I'm close because of the fact that I got a negative 10, and I really want a positive 10. So that makes me feel good, like I'm not far away. Okay, but I didn't quite get the result that I wanted. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and erase this. And since I felt like I got a close result, I'm going to check the other pair. So I'm going to still choose the 4 and 2, but instead of choosing negative 3 and 1, I'm going to choose positive 3 and negative 1. 4 times positive 3 plus 2 times negative 1. So here I will have a positive 12 plus a negative 2, which results in a positive 10. All right, so here's how we now we have all the numbers that are going to go into my two binomials. These are all the numbers. And here's how I put them into the binomials. I know the first terms are going to be x and x, but I need a number here and here, the second part, the first part and second part to each. All right, I know the first part is going to be 4 and 2 because 4 times 2 is 8. I know the second part is going to be my 3 and negative 1. Now, you have to think strategically on where to place the 3 and the negative 1 because it does matter. So I'm going to put the 3 in the second binomial, and here's why. Notice up here I took 4 times 3. Well, I must also do that in my distributive or FOIL process. So outside would be 4 times 3. If I put the 3 in the same binomial right here, you would never end up multiplying those, so we know that's incorrect. In the second binomial would then go my negative 1. And I forgot the positive here with the 3. So 4x minus 1 and 2x plus 3. So again, you can go ahead and check these, and you're really concerned. We know the f and the L in FOIL, the first and the last terms do match up because that was the basis for our whole process here. What we want to check then is the O and the I. In other words, do we get the middle B term? So 4x times 3 is 12x. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2x. Combine those and we have positive 10x, which is what we wanted to get. Second problem, this time I'll color code a little bit better. Factors of 6 are going to be 2 times 3 and 6 times 1. Factors of 15 are going to be 15 times 1. I'm going to have 5 times 3. Now wait a minute, because I know my sum is going to be negative here, I'm also going to look at negative 15 times 1, negative 1, and negative 5 times negative 3. All right, so I have a feeling because of the negative that I'm going to end up choosing one of the two last factors for 15, where they're both negative. All right, so now what I'd like to do again is go ahead and just randomly pair up. I'm going to pick 2 and 3. Not for any particular reason, just because I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to choose 2 times. Now I got to pick a pair of factors from the second one. I'm going to go ahead with the 5 and the 3. Let's see how this works out. So 2 times negative 3, and I'm going to do, we got to have a plus here, and then I have 3 times. Since I chose negative 3, I must choose negative 5 for the second one. All right, let's go ahead and see if this works. So this will produce negative 6 and negative 15, which is negative 21. Okay, not quite what I wanted, so let's go back to the drawing board and let's pick another set of factors. I'm going to keep that one up there just to remind me what I picked and what I need to pick next time. So I feel good about the 2 and the 3. I'm going to stick with that. But with the second set of factors, I am going to, you know what, I feel like reversing those. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to choose the negative 5 and pair that with the 2, and I'm going to choose the negative 3 and pair that with the 3. Okay, so let's try again. So that'll be negative 10 plus negative 9, and so then that does in fact produce negative 19. Great. So again, this didn't work up here because I had a negative 21 for my B. This did work here because of negative 19. All right, now the hard part. How do I fit these into my binomials? I know there's an x in each, but I still have to have the coefficient to the x and then the constant after each of the x's. And I know for a fact the first terms are going to be 2 and 3. So remember, because I'm multiplying 2 times negative 5, that means they need to be in opposite binomials. So the negative 5 must go in my second binomial. Because I'm multiplying the 3 times the negative 3 will go in my other opposite binomial. And again, you can go ahead and check to verify that these are correct.
I love cookies.